Marrying My Mother, a one-act play by Doug Vogel. Setting: a simple analytic room, a wooden chair for the clinician, a quaint overstuffed couch for the patient. The room is otherwise empty. Lighting: soft, late afternoon wash. Sound: faint rural ambience. Wind, distant birds, fading as the play begins. A faint pressure shifts in the room. A light cools by a single degree. A low, almost inaudible rumble moves through the pipes in the house, and it enters the stage. Not thunder, but something like atmospheric tension. It passes as quickly as it came. Clinician: Good morning. Yes, it's beautiful out here in the country. I'm so fortunate to have this piece of land, this place that I've had for several years now. And you can see right over there, see those hills? That's very important. They shelter me from this strong northeast winds. Patient enters quietly, sits on the couch. A subtle vignette tightens around him. Oh, doctor, I've come to understand that I didn't marry my mother's demand. I married the symbolic life of my own creativity, and that shift has finally given me a coherent sense of myself. Clinician: Continue. Patient: Well, I was just recently reviewing this happy position that I'm in. I'm so grateful for my creative endeavors. I shed a few tears just thinking that rather than marrying my mother, of course, psychoanalytically, I married my artwork, my performance, my ability to receive myself as the audience, rather than looking to others endlessly for satisfaction. My mother is inside of me. I have taken over the symbolic role in my life of language, of order, of rule. So I can put together on some kind of timeline, whether it's distorted, abstract, or surreal, I can interject this wound from childhood and I can stage it. I always wanted to help my mother because she enlisted me as the other, someone extremely close to her and somebody that she desperately needed. She needed somebody special to help her. I didn't know what mask I wore. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what she wanted. And now with some clarity, with this sober focus that I have, I finally have an opening. But this nothing, this nameless thing, these objects that fell through this union, they're now at the deeper core of my creativity. Clinician: A slight isolation of light on him, then silence. I want to stay with you. I want to have some clarity about what you're saying. You didn't marry your mother, you married the symbolic. I hear that. That's an important pivot for you. Instead of remaining trapped in the impossible task, you redirected that impossible demand from her into something creative, something symbolic and yours. You're no longer consumed by it. Patient: He rises, the lights cool slightly, the metallic tone begins. Yes, that's exactly it. I had no idea that I spent a lifetime pushing this away, and it's coming out by filling It came out by filling the desires of others in all my relationships. It's sublimation in its purest form. But the question is, where was I in this? Where was my desire? What did I desire? I finally became the audience I never had. And now you can be my audience. Clinician. As a child, you were enlisted into a role without a script. You didn't know what mask you were supposed to wear. And now, in your creative life, you've taken a position that was denied you. It's understandable. Patient now begins performing for the clinician, minimal at first, and then it increases. The lighting shifts in temperature now. The patient in full association mode. Look at me, doctor. I'm a flower. A jasmine flower, ready to be picked and put in that vase. Hands delicate, lifting upward. Reach out for me. Reach out for me. But be careful, my petals are delicate. You want to see me throttle this flower? Watch. I'll break it all apart for you. I was reading the other day about the death-head hawk moth. It's interesting. In folklore, they steal people's souls. Be careful. I will steal your soul, doctor. Who the hell was that? Okay, watch me now. I'm a wild mountain lion. He crouches, shoulders wide, or maybe just a dandelion in a field who wants to be a ferocious beast. Trembling lightness. All I know is I'm not a plaything. I'm dangerous, okay? I'm dangerous. Years ago, somebody tried to tame me. And I was put in some kind of zoo, a zoo for humans. But they started to dismantle them. They're no longer popular. And that's a good thing. Do you want to hit me? I could be the perfect client for you. I am the perfect client for you. Look, way out in the ocean midst. Swinging on a cable car, arms suspended, swaying. I'm nothing more than a rented flower. I'm a philodendron, a love tree. It climbs, it clings, it attaches. It's perfect. I bloom at night, and my flower smells just like death. And then all of a sudden, I'm that sudden microburst that hits when you sleep, and it slaps the face of the earth. I'm a hidden device. But try and catch me. Just try and catch me. Please. But if you do, for God's sakes, use language when you talk to me. Use your voice as you fall into the sea of desire. Don't you love me? The metallic tone rises slightly, then fades. The stage opens up and allows jasmine flowers to bloom. The mountain lion stands guarding the front of the stage. Far behind him, upstage, is a cage within this human zoo. Just beyond the ocean that surrounds the edges of the imaginary field, we see these cable cars swaying, suspended one after another. Letter A, the letter B. Plants cling along the cable lines and seep into the cable cars. Below stage right, the child's arcade. A girl named Penny puts silver coins into an old arcade machine. Just below her, a large crevice. She walks along the edge and enters into the ocean, and she says, I am the sea of desire. I am the demand. Penny closes in on herself now, and she sees her reflection in a distorted mirror. There, a family tree grows. There, the patient watches the scene unfold. Patient now arranges himself on some intricate plumbing, pipes, levers, the sound of water pulsating, grounded, heavy, a brief deepening of red light. Patient. Mother, I have not left you, and you have not left me. You're still here. You're just more transparent. But you're alive. You're in my body, and I can feel you. With her, the room always changed before she even spoke. You could feel her before you could hear her. It was never language. It was like the wind. It was like the rain, the change of pressure, the thing you feel before the storm comes. I am glowing, and yet I am flowing. I'm no longer built from walls. I'm no longer built into a system. I'm not A, I'm not B. I'm more 1 + 1 = 3, not A, not B, but maybe 1 + 1 = 3. That feels right. That feels right. I'm not suspended between 2 points. I'm both points at once. I'm both of them. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm both at once. Sweet name, you're born once again for me. Just as long as I can see, I'll never stop this vision flowing. I look twice and you're still flowing. Just as long as I can walk, I'll walk beside you. I'm alive in you. I'm alive in you. Sweet name, you're born once again for me. I always loved that song. Clinician. You're the director now. You're the singer. You're the playwright. You're the actor. It's up to you. It's your show, and you direct it. She enlisted you into some formless, engulfing closeness, and you metabolized that early wound, and now you're metabolizing it through your art rather than through simple repetition. That's why your plays feel alive. They're not just performances. They're these psychic operations, if you will. That union you've been describing, it's not pathological. It's the opposite. It's the moment when the subject stops seeking the impossible object in the other and finds that creative core within themselves. You're just living in this long, difficult aftermath. You're living past that difficult place into liberation. Patient. I always performed as the other's object, whether for a man or a woman, yet it was an unknown object. It performed as a kind of a lever. It operated within my body, pushing on me, closing in on me. And now I allow the sensations. I notice them. I allow them. And I don't fight them. instead of being swallowed up by them, something so impossible, the real, that which falls through, that which the unconscious cannot assimilate. We can never, ever know the cause of our symptoms, the forms they take. It's like that ripe fruit that sits on the windowsill. If we don't consume it, it just sits and then becomes petrified. Flies gather together and carry away the remnants. My performance is my closeness. This is what can be trusted. There is nothing beyond the written word, the staged play, the free association. I guess you could say I'm living my own therapeutic session. I've learned I cannot save anybody, but I can watch the pushing and the pulling, and it's living in that abstraction. It's living in that uncertainty. That's what's real. Lights go down, lights come up. The stage opens up again. The jasmine flowers bloom. The patient stands next to the mountain lion front of stage. Upstage, the cage now is rusted and broken apart. We hear the sound of the wind on the ocean, bordering the edges of the imaginary field. Cable cars, they're devoured by clinging plants. Below, stage right, the arcade center glows, and Penny continues taking wild chances, putting silver coins into outdated machines. And just below her, a large crevice, and she walks and she gets closer to the ocean and she says, I am the sea of desire. I am the demand. Penny closes in on herself as she sees her reflection in a distorted mirror. There, a family tree grows. There, the patient watches the scene unfolding. The patient returns to the couch. He sits and breathes. Patient. I can hear myself now. The voice is mine. All my life I tried to hear what could not be spoken, and I filled the silence with her desire. I imagined it. I carried it. I lived inside it. But none of it was ever said. Not by her, and not by the ones who came before her, and not by the ones who came after. I was speaking from both sides, alive in that imaginary field, in a land of fantasy. But in that, I recognize myself now. I recognize myself. We hear the sound of water now through the pipes, the real system still operating, evacuation, pressure, residue. It's the weather. Patient. There is no voice inside of this silence. That which cannot be said, the unknown, the unspeakable something that emanates within the system. There's only the sound of microbursts slapping the face of the earth. It is that which I mistook for language. Clinician, well, you've stepped out of the mother's scene now. You're no longer the object. You're no longer that which fell away. The patient continues breathing, not to fill the silence, but to inhabit it. Lights fade to black. We hear the sound of wind. No, it's something else. It's the sound of wings. The patient returns to the couch. He sits and breathes. Lighting warms. The new, symbolic silence. The end.